Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Mandy, and if you saw one of the recent videos, you saw that I really screwed up a negative space swipe and it didn't go as planned, and I ended up doing a bloom after I scraped it. So now that I've fought with my tripod for a long time and got it to be still, I'm gonna try to do it again with similar, mostly all the same colors. I'm gonna probably not be as adventurous. Really the only difference is I left out the diamonds color, and I am trying to incorporate, sorry, my brain's fried. I'm trying to incorporate an interference red cell activator that I mixed up a long time ago with my blue-black cell activator. My thought was that I would use them together and it would keep from wasting my interference one. So I'm going to put down my pillow paint and I'm going to kind of put things down and show you as I go. I like to show you the colors and stuff first, but if you saw that video, we're using the same colors. So I'm going to try to talk through this video instead of doing a voiceover. Feels like it takes me forever to get stuff like that edited these days, and it throws me behind schedule. So if I can just talk through it, then be a little faster. So this is, I'm pretty sure it's Valspar pillow paint of some sort, but I can't remember what's in that container. It feels like Valspar. It's a little thick actually. So I am gonna name the colors and stir them up as we go. I'm gonna stir up my cell activator. So this is a blue-black cell activator from Atelier, Interactive and Aussie Floetrol. I always, at least most always, use Aussie Floetrol for my cell activator. I get it from Pixel Paint Designs. And there's a 10% off discount code. This is the interference red. This is Amsterdam, by the way. In the description box below. This is too thick. Let me get some Floetrol. Anyway, my cell activator's gotten a little thick, so I'm just gonna thin it down with the tiniest bit of Australian Floetrol. As I was saying, from Pixel Paint Designs, she ships from the United States. So if you're in the United States, the prices are great. It's also where I get my boom gels. So don't forget to check out the description box. So this is not thin enough to run off the stick, so I'm just gonna thin it down a little bit. I do like thicker cell activator for swipes, but it was way too thin just because there's hardly any of it in the container left. So I just thinned it down a little bit. It's still too thick. Thin it down just, and what I suspect is the reason why it got so thick is interference colors are primarily just like kind of a interference mica. So it's sort of like a metallic paint is gonna thicken up faster sitting still because of the mica that's in it. Same concept. So this is a little bit better, and all I'm gonna do is drizzle it, so that's gonna be fine. If that was for a bloom, it would be probably too thick, unless you're just very adventurous. Okay, so when I screwed up this last one, I started way out over here. What I wanted to do was do a loaded palette knife swipe. No, not loaded palette knife swipe, but puddle my colors and then swipe, because I wanted there to be like big color saturation and then a little bit less. But I started way over here. So what I think I'm gonna do today is start my color more in this, maybe a little off center, and then swipe out on one side and then do something similar on the other side. It'll look kind of maybe pinwheelish, at least that's how it is in my head. That doesn't mean that's how it's gonna turn out, as we all know. So I'm gonna use Indanthrene blue, which is a little thick, maybe from how long I left it open the last time when I was trying to rescue that painting. It was not gonna happen. And I have some paint snot in here. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. I have a bunch of like small little geode things I'm working on, some that have gone horribly wrong that I've had to try to fix. and I kind of need to work on some like glitter lines and doing some of the work on that tonight. I'm not sure if I'm going to get that far. It took me a long time to get started tonight. So this is Indanthrene Blue from Holbein. It is very similar in color to Indigo from Matisse, which is one of my favorite colors, but it's also very expensive. So just for what it's worth, they're both beautiful, and Holbein is cheaper, and that's a fluid version of Holbein, so it makes it last even longer. This is Blue Agave from Colourarte PrizmPour. Use a little Midas touch from Colourarte well, not PrizmPour, Bling It. Well, I think there is a Midas touch PrizmPour. Anyway, this is Bling It. No, there's not. It's only a Bling It. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself and stirring up some of the stuff that's settled. It's kind of a reddish gold. I like it a lot. I'm using it because I have 2 tubs of it mixed up. So I need to start incorporating it in other colors. I think I mixed it up in 2 different sets. And so, yeah, I have quite a bit of it mixed up. And I'm also trying to like use paint colors until I use them, instead of just mixing up so many colors and then having like the panic feeling of having to use them up. Sparkling Aqua, Colourarte PrizmPour. It's a phenomenal color. Always a fan of an aqua. This one is also a phenomenal color. So this is Indigo Violet, Colourarte PrizmPour. I just told you guys I wasn't going to do this, and here I am doing it anyway. Doing it quickly, hopefully. I always feel rushed. I never mind long videos personally, but some people are more sensitive about them than others. I kind of enjoy the process. And then Matisse Red Violet, also a little thick. From Matisse. Durr. Okay, so I'm gonna puddle these colors. This light back here. I don't know how this is gonna go, so let's check it out. I am gonna start closer in the middle so I don't have the potential to screw it up so bad like the last time. I think sometimes like you just need to do like painting because it's therapeutic, and it's not always going to turn out the way you want it to. This is the Midas touch. Let's see, the Blue Agave, and then the Sparkling Aqua. Indigo Violet. This is a lot of color, guys, in one spot. And we're gonna drizzle a little bit of Red Violet on the top under the cell activator. Okay, so then my plan was that I would load my palette knife with the blue black first, because whatever you put down first is going to go over the top last, right? So if whatever color you want to be kind of dominant, you want last. At least that's how I do it. I'm going to use my little square, and my thought was that I would either, I need to brain this out with you guys. So, because last time I just went willy-nilly and it went buck wild crazy. So, so this one, if I swipe this way, like that, and then my next puddle is over here, let's say, and I swipe kind of this way, it could be kind of a funky design. So let's try that. I wonder if I should just put both puddles down next to each other so I can kind of envision where I'm going with it. So I said we were going to go this way, this way, right? Ooh, which means this one would potentially go, you know what, let me not do them. Let me swipe it first, because then if I have to change courses based on what I do for this one, that's conceivable for me. Okay, so I'm going to put my stuff on here and then we'll see what we see. I hope everyone's safe. I know at the time that I'm recording this anyway, Hurricane Ian hit Florida today, I think. So I hope everybody is okay. I know Puerto Rico's already gone through some stuff. By the time I release this, I'm not sure what day it will actually be, but praying for people, safety. So I'm putting on the pearl red. See if I can show you without getting it everywhere. All right, now I don't know why I did that, but I did it. It's like I started to do a spin swipe and then I was like, what are you doing? So I don't know what to think about how this is gonna go. This is what happens, like I overthink things. I start to do it and then I'm like, wait a minute. And then I overthink it and then this kind of crap happens. That's okay, we might be able to go with this. So I need to think about how I did that so I can kind of duplicate it. There's a lot of cell activator. It's gonna take a minute for that bad boy to open up in the middle. But it will open up. I believe it. There's a whole lot of bubbles in my stuff. No, thank you. All right. Okay, so for this one, and the other thing about swipes is like they don't have to be uniform. What you do on one side, you don't have to do the same thing on the other. So sometimes you just have to be a little wild and go with it. Okay, so I started here, right? And then I started to go swirl, which those are fun too. That wasn't what I was going for. So I started here. So over here, if I start here, or even, I don't know, you guys, even here. Let's do our puddle right next to it, sort of, and see. Let's see, I started here. So if I wanted to go the opposite way, I would almost need to kind of start here. Let's do that. Still weighing the pros and cons of going right next to it or going over here. Because if I go right next to it, I'm afraid it's going to be almost, okay, ignore my meanderings over here. I think I'm going to start over here. Again, it doesn't have to be uniform, so don't have to overthink it too much. Sure have a lot of paint piled up in the middle here. Oh, Midas Touch, are you the one giving me all the bubbles because I stirred up the stuff from the bottom? I think you might be. How rude of you to do that. Okay. And the Midas Touch is saying, it's not my fault you haven't painted. I've been mixed up waiting. And then the Aqua. I have just enough Aqua to maybe do a puddle and a bloom. Okay, these petals are quite high. I don't usually swipe using petals. I usually swipe using lines, so this is a little different for me. I mean, not that it's all that different, but I do like to challenge what I normally do so that I don't just do the same thing all the time. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Sometimes there's a lot of comfort in that, because then you don't have failed swipes all the time. Like I had the other day. Made me so mad. Okay. I'm going to load up this palette knife dude again. Oh man, I just dropped my wipey on the floor. Whatever. Stupid wipey. Okay, so the Atelier Interactive is what I use for the blue black. I get that on Blick. I got the Amsterdam on Blick too. I have a link for Blick below. That's where I buy my regular paints, not my sparkly paints in general. Those are pretty much all Colourarte, with the exception of some Pebeo and that kind of stuff here and there. All my regular paints I get from Blick. So, okay. We got the cell activator. Ooh, I almost slung that on there. All right, so now I got to think through this really quick. So I can either come from this side, although I don't see that going well, and this way. Okay, I'm gonna go from here. It's the neighbor's dog, in case you hear him or her. Oh crap. I don't think I did a good job on this, guys. It's okay. Let's see. What I have to fix. So when you've done something stupid like what I just did, composition wise, this will come off. But what I did here is I created this weird stuff in the middle. So, and I dipped into the pillow here. So it is possible that we can redeem this. It's just not going to be easy. Of course. Why couldn't I have just done something simple like a pinwheel swipe or something like that, right? But that's all right. So while the cells are developing, I'm going to see how we're going to fix this problem. So this weird block of white, we can take one of two approaches, and I'm sort of externally processing with you guys, and this part too. So we can go with it and be like, hey, we meant to do that, you know, or we can wreck it. So let me show you what I mean. We can kind of go with it and just let it be a weird white clump, or we can come in from over here and make it look like we meant to do that, which is where I'm leaning. We have this weird thing here that's almost like a cresty wave, so we can kind of follow that line. I didn't really want to do that, but then I was kind of committed. So, and then we can come over here and we can sort of wreck this and make it look like, oh, see that really weird thing in the middle? I meant to do that. It's not gonna perfectly look like we meant to do that, but it looks a little bit more like it than it did before. So we'll go with that. Then we can also shift this a little bit so that when we spin it, it won't be like super heavy on one side and not on the other. And I can bring some more white paint over here if we find that we need it. So, you know, we'll just embrace the funkiness, I think. Some of my favorite swipes ever were disastrous after I swiped them, similar to this. And when we worked through the kinks and tried to make something out of the chaos, they were so distinct and so different. You couldn't have done it on purpose if you tried. And so I don't have maybe the creativity to kind of foresee that, like someone like Nikki or somebody does that can see this really cool exotic looking design. When I get the exotic looking designs that turn out cool, they start off as catastrophes. I wish that I could intentionally create that kind of beautiful, funky swipe stuff like she's been doing. That's just magical. But if mine turn out like that, they were intended to do something else, and then I tried to fix it. So, but I think that that's sometimes how those kinds of skills develop, right? You learn to fix the chaos when it happens, like today. So, choose to not be super quick to scrape when we might get something cool out of it. So I think we are kind of, right now it kind of looks like a brain or something, but what do I know? But I think we're gonna try to make something beautiful out of it. Oops, I kind of stopped too short on that one. I don't really know that I like what I just did there. This to me still looks really weird. Not as weird as it did. It's kind of too like almost triangular right there. So what I'm using, in case you can't tell from where you are, is the coffee stir stick, the pointy side on the bottom. I buy a whole bunch of them on Amazon. I keep them in the drawer. I reuse the same one for a while, and then I chunk them. So they last a while. All right, I really need to get some stuff out of the way before I start spinning. I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit so hopefully you can see a little bit better. This video is already really long. Okay. Now some of these bubbles are really going to be difficult if they pop as they dry. So some of that's from mixing up the paint right before we started, and some of it's from just having so much paint in one spot in those little puddles. So I still kind of like this funky part, even though I definitely did not intend for this to go this way. Oh crap. Now I just got a dog hair. Or actually it may not be a dog hair, it might be a wipey fuzzy hair. Okay, I'm gonna try to give this a gentle spin and see what develops. It's really strange looking, but if we can get it to cover more of the surface, it might actually be really cool. I think it's gonna be all right. Is it gonna be my favorite? No, but it's gonna be all right. Let me clean my hands a little. I just got stuff all over me. This is probably going to go to the edge. That's probably going to look a little strange if this part stays on here. So I don't even know how much of that is in frame for you to see. So this that I did here is pretty messy looking. But it would almost take a gallant effort to get rid of it at this point. So I think we may have to embrace it. I think I'm gonna have to get rid of it. It's gonna drive me crazy. Which one of my fingers has less paint? Okay. The things I do over the smallest things, you guys. All right, that's not perfect. And I mean, I can put paint here. It's just not going to be my preferred way to fix that. It is a little better though. Let me see something. What I don't want to do is put too much paint there so that it pushes its way in over here, but it might help to put a little. So let's put a little. Just a little, just to to kind of guide that a little bit. Just looked kind of weird to me. It may not have bothered you guys at all. And that's okay. We obsess over strange things, right? Now that we did that, I feel like I can do that a little bit better. Okay. All right, let's keep spinning and see if we don't get some of those weird edges all the way to the edge. If not, I'm gonna have to do something kind of creative with it. This is starting to look kind of bat signal-ish, but if it goes the way I think it's gonna go, I think it's actually gonna be pretty. I just saw a glob of paint. I hope that was it. Maybe like you see it when you're spinning and then you can't find it after that. If it dries as a glob, it won't be the end of the world, but now the more we spin, the more like a metallic type paint is going to potentially flocculate, but we still have to get enough to the edge to get a decent composition. I'd like to see this go all the way off, but I don't think it's going to do it. So now we're kind of faced with another conundrum. Because it looks strange. So we almost have to embrace its strangeness somehow by distracting from it. I'm not sure if that gave us that desired outcome, but let's see. There's so many bubbles in this dang painting. All right, let's see. We still have a little bit of wiggle room. If that does not give us what we want, then what I will probably do, because I don't hate this. It's not what I envisioned at all when I started. But what I'll probably do is put some white over it. I need to look at it for a second. Let me see something. All right, let's see if I can make something out of that. Okay. Now I don't want to put too much because this is thick and it's all in one spot and it runs the risk of causing the painting to crack. So all I'm gonna do is just put it on here, get it to coat, and then spin it gently just to blend that edge so it doesn't look harsh like that. But I think I can live with that. Is it perfect? No. But can we make it work? I think so. I kind of like that it's kind of funky, you know? I don't like how much paint is right there though. Oh crap. There's blue in that white. Why? Stupid bubbles. And sometimes if your bubbles are left in your negative space, they'll form like these hit holes. I don't know why my pillow paint has so many dang bubbles today. It doesn't normally have that many, but whatever. Okay, so you guys have to let me know because we're always already super long into this video. What do you think? I'm gonna bring you down for a close-up. And yeah, you'll have to let me know. I'll bring you down. I am gonna spin this one more time off camera. Hey everyone, sorry about the super long video. Here is the close-up. What I'm a little concerned about is the bubbles in the white. I don't know if you can see that, but those turn into pinholes when they dry, and I'm trying to deal with them. But so I like small cells. We obviously had to stretch this a lot to deal with the composition challenges. The colors are beautiful. I was tempted to take my skewer on the fatter end and come in and like properly wreck this. And I'm still really thinking about it, but I'm afraid that we don't have enough paint in there now and it would mess it up. Because as we stretched it, it kind of lost what we created in there. There's some kind of funky stuff going on over here. The colors are amazing. I still kind of wish I had just gone old school, but I do really like these funky swipes. Let me check something.